The retail and e-commerce landscape is accelerating rapidly to keep pace with their changing paradigms, and amid such a rush to stay relevant, the brands are expected to continuously evolve their online businesses.
A very warm welcome to each of you to Messagebird presents the Economic Times Retail and E-commerce Innovation Summit.
The Economic Times has recently organized the Retail and E-commerce Innovation Summit to offer in-depth views and global trends of the retail and e-commerce sector by bringing together experts from across industries to discuss the latest developments and the future of business. Here are the high points from the summit.
First of all, it's a privilege to be here. When I'm part of the government of India and especially associated with ONDC. It's a word which has spread faster than we thought. And it's been a long journey for ONDC to come to this place. I'll just give you a small idea what ONDC does. Open Network for Digital Commerce. It itself has the 4 words, tells out everything in it. It's an open network. It's not a platform. It's a network which allows each and everyone, a consumer as a buyer, to be on it. And for a consumer, it gives you more options. For a buyer, it gives you more options to be more visible, both of them. As a buyer, if today I go to Amazon and buy a thing, I only get to look for people, or you can say industry people who are associated with Amazon. I don't see people in the retailers which are close to my area. How do I get to them? So ONDC takes care of this. It standardizes the operations, promotes inclusion, drives efficiency. These are 3 things which are necessary for any business to grow. Though most of you who are present here would be doing e-commerce and have their own platforms or your sites. But just think of a situation where if you all go on to ONDC, the amount of visibility you will gain in it, the amount of public availability you will have, our consumers will be looking you at each platform. It's simple as that. It increases the choice of the platform. For consumer, for me, if I have to buy something from one place, a product, I have a lot of choices with me. Of course, it's a price game also. Then it provides a level playing field. It unbundles the services. As of now, we find that if one of you wants to go into Amazon, you have to abide by their rules and regulations. They indirectly or directly force you to buy all their facilities. By being on ONDC, we take care of all this. You have the choice of choosing your logistic provider. You have the choice of choosing your platform. You have the choice of buying your product from any person. Individual. This goes straight for the seller also. The seller has the choice whether he wants to deliver his product himself or not. It is his choice. The most important part which the summit also is about is innovation. ONDC gives you an opportunity to innovate. We are looking for people to give us innovative ideas how to make it more progressive, how to make it more effective. ONDC as of now has done a pilot in 5 cities, and we are really very proud to say that we have some success on it. We are still working on it and would like your inputs and your innovative ideas to come into us. Anyone who's interested into getting in touch with ONDC, because so much for me as a background of economics, I won't be able to give you the more technologies part of it, but we have a special team for this working on it. So you all are free to get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to put you through this. I'm also very interested. I was seeing the agenda for today. I'm very impressed to see many people coming into today's presentations. I would have loved to be here for a longer time and go through all your strategies, but I would love to have those papers and read them through and find some innovative ideas on it. Thank you.
Up next was a special address by Vinay Bhartia from Messagebird, who spoke about building unified conversational customer journeys and engagements.
So I think we've seen retail and e-commerce have a very interesting roller coaster ride in the last few years. Obviously, due to COVID, a lot is spoken about it. But we strongly believe that times are changing and times have changed. And it's super exciting. The reason is the industry is transforming, the customer is transformed. Why do we believe and why we think this is there? Because now we're putting the customer at the center. Businesses ask customers to come to their stores, to their websites, to a particular point of sale. However, our belief, and this is the founding principle of our founder, why can't we take the business to where the customer is? Let him be on the channel of his choice. You like WhatsApp? Let's do that. You want to go to a store? Let's do that. Why can't a business go and talk to the customer on his channel? And I think that's the key aspect for today. Things that are changing, omni-channel today, we believe, is the winning strategy for businesses, for customers, for the whole ecosystem. The shift is real. Customers want to chat with you. Customers want to engage with you, but always remember it's the depth and it's the channel of their choice. And by doing that, we're going to make customers happy, which I think is our collective requirement. Thank you.
It was time for a thought-provoking panel discussion where the industry experts shared their experience and views on the topic of omni-channel personalization, acquire, engage and retain customers.
See, I think what has happened really, if you see that we've seen a big shift of digital-first companies trying to go offline, and we've seen a whole host of online companies or offline companies trying to go online. Is omni-channel really about having an offline store, an online store, a marketplace, an app, and perhaps some social media interactions?
Given our fundamental beliefs that the business is not sustainable as far as deep discounting is concerned in grocery. However, after the pandemic, what really happened was that even our loyal customer base was not willing to come to the stores for obvious reasons. And we were in dire need to actually make that platform available for them. Otherwise, the risk of losing out even on customers who are sold on to offline retailing was there. So the way we looked at it was that we had anticipated it, honestly, at that point in time, that it will be a larger change. And hence, from an operational standpoint, we'll have to look at it more holistically.
The main reason why omni-channel came into the picture was that at that time, a lot of customers who used to visit your physical stores or online, and if they don't find the product or the size or the color, they used to turn away. And this is a given fact that if a customer turns away once, to bring that customer back is quite a task. So all the retailers were thinking that how to ensure that the customer remains engaged, and omni-channel was turning out to be pretty handy in this.
Getting onto omni-channel right now with more than 20 people on their mobile phones, but yeah, so that's the real world of omni-channel, that anywhere, everywhere, anything can be accessed and could be reached to. That's the real India, and that's the hinterland India. That's the India where the large population, which the whole world is eyeing, lives. And every country, every corporation, every brand, every industry wants to eye that consumer and sell to that consumer.
Messagebird is an omni-channel cloud communications platform built for global scale. The world's most innovative and largest companies are building communication solutions across all channels using Messagebird. Actually, whether you know it or not, you're actually using Messagebird. We process close to 5 trillion messages annually across 17 different channels, engaging various customer journeys and engagements. Whether it is a business looking to improve the quality of traditional channels like SMS, voice, and email, or whether it is businesses looking to engage their customers on various omni-channel journeys, engagements, experiences, engagements across communication channels like WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. These are very complex problems that Messagebird helps solve. We reduce the complexity and bring ease and convenience to the business to talk to their customers. We believe in building a world where for a customer to talk to his business should be as easy and natural as talking to his friends. Today, there is massive adoption and usage of messaging apps like WhatsApp. You and I talk as friends, we make plans, we discuss things to do. Similarly, as customers now, instead of the traditional method, which would be reaching out to a business's contact form, web form, URL, or email, customers want to have product inquiries, product shipment status, customer service support queries on the channel of their choice, which is like example of WhatsApp. They want to be able to go in and message the business and ask for a question that addresses or meets their requirement. The key challenge has now been the number of opportunities. Traditionally, we would be selling into, or CPaaS players would be selling into the engineering product or technical teams because they would be basic requirements for the customer. However, today, we're engaging with teams and departments across the organization, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, customer service, customer support, or even logistics, because the customers of the business have various questions. So our challenges or our competitors now no longer are traditional CPaaS players, but it also cuts across various technology service providers that offer to this or serve this industry.
You see, we work in an industry where there are billions and billions and billions of transactions that are happening across, right? So if I just look at a combination of messaging, whether it's an SMS or WhatsApp, an email, a Viber, or voice that I do, I would be doing more than 3, 4, 5 billion transactions every month, right? If I pick up notifications on the website, there would be trillions of them that would actually go out, right? Now, all of this data has to be kind of analyzed, user journeys to be created as to how the user is interacting with you as a brand or as an enterprise. That obviously is not possible in pivots and Excel tables, right? It needs deep learning. It needs both artificial intelligence as well as machine learning capabilities to ensure that not only are you able to analyze, track, and create automation-based journeys after learning what data has been plugged in. At the same time, you have to also ensure that you're able to even predict the way the consumers would potentially interact with you, right? So we have seen emergence with the plethora of data being played around in the market right now. We see both machine learning as well as artificial intelligence becoming the core of the products that we developed for the future.
The next panel discussion was on the topic of capitalizing on technology, connecting the physical and digital stores. Here are some highlights from the discussion.
So what I see is that the boundary between physical stores and the digital stores is actually blurring out these days. And we have all seen that physical stores, they are adopting a lot of digital innovative ways to indulge with the customers. So what is your view about it? And do you feel that every offline store, they definitely need a digital store to survive and be relevant in this world?
It's probably not the best way to look at as online and offline as separate formats, right? What we should really look at is engaging with the customer and creating that customer experience seamlessly across online and offline, and not really worry about whether what is coming in offline and what's happening online. Behavior of shopping is changing. People explore online, but eventually they do want to try it out, so they want to see if there's a store nearby and maybe try out what they like online in a store before buying it.
We are primarily a brand company, and we have various brands under our umbrella. Messagebird is our biggest brand. So most of our TG is gym goers, athletes, health conscious user, right? And when we were looking at our NPS, what we realized that most of the users are saying that we are not getting a desired output, right? And that's where personalization comes into picture when you are consuming the health supplement. You have to first understand your user where they are currently. We try to understand our user in a better way. We integrated with lots of IoT devices. We integrated with the BMI machine to understand where user is currently. And then basically combining all this information behind the scene, there is a machine learning model to come up with the right kind of personalization diet chart.
Customer is the king and the queen. Customers want convenience. My esteemed colleague talked about the fact that they're looking at personalization. Somebody talked about, going ahead and educating. So they need the convenience, they need the, content, they need information. And a lot of times, we've got to make sure that the transition from offline to online, when they're communicating in one channel and there's a transition to another channel, it's frictionless. So somebody is on, WhatsApp, transitioning to chatbot and moving on to a contact center. There's a context that's built around it.
I see this not if it is for a particular set of user versus other set of user. In my view, it is about category. For example, if you are into FMCG or grocery, probably AR is not going to be that useful or impactful. Right? But if you are in eyewear, if you are in fashion, apparel, and even furnitures, beauty, there is a lot which is happening on the beauty segment. So it's about the category. I think we have to look at any technology. What problem for the user or my customers is the technology going to solve? Is it a real problem? I think that's the lens to look at.
Next in line was a deep conversation with Bipin Kaul of Paytm and Ashutosh Gupta of OLX India. The topic of this fireside chat was diversifying payment offerings, a game changer in e-commerce. Here are some glimpses from the session.
Today, this large e-commerce companies are working with the partnership with banks and fintech. Gradually, I think in a 6 months down the line or a year down the line, they will have their own fintech arm. where they will be making more seamless. They will try how can they power 70-80% transaction with credit and make a seamless consumer journey.
This is my personal view. So I'm a very big fan of blockchain technology. The kind of benefits it brings to the whole ecosystem, all partners, all players in the system is huge. So RBI, what is now today doing? They're doing a pilot where they will bring all big players in corporate banking and they will say, you do it on the blockchain now. All the disbursements and everything will now go on the blockchain. And so tomorrow, whoever is the player in that blockchain, whoever is the node, they will be able to see that XYZ company has got so much of funding, they have done this much of this, they are leveraged to this extent, they can't be lent more. And it becomes instant.
Enhancing customer experiences with unified communication was the next topic of another fireside chat, where Vinay Bharatia of Messagebird and Arzan Singh Purwala from WhatsApp for Business in India shared their viewpoints.
Arzan, what's the scale at which you operate today in India for WhatsApp for Business?
If I have to give you some statistics, I'll say two things. One billion conversations every month. The other thing is, if you look at our population as a nation, 1.3 billion and not growing, 50% of that are people who are currently using the internet. And WhatsApp penetration on the internet is at 98%. So you know the size of the market, which is currently penetrated with WhatsApp. So that is the kind of scale we're talking.
Vinay, what's the scale at which you guys operate?
I want to say 36 and pause so that people can guess, but yes, we manage 36 trillion threads of communications annually across channels for customers.
What has changed in the last 2-3 years? We were communicating in some sense with all of this till 17th of March when they told us that for a week we'll be closed. We're so happy. And then that week became months and months became years. And we are resilient enough as a race to come back worldwide. What has significantly changed for the brands?
Irrespective of COVID or pre-COVID or post-COVID, the way we look at it and some of the customers we work for actually first put their customer first versus the business themselves first. And that pivot is bigger. And obviously COVID leapfrogged that because your customer wanted to talk to you. You were not available in the channels that conventionally you were doing business prior to COVID. So if and to a question you said, what does CPaaS mean? I think we keep it very simple, which is our North Star. We wake up every morning for it. Can we empower and enable us as customers to talk to our businesses as if we would talk to each other? And I think if you keep it simple, the rest of it is just the how part of it, getting a platform, getting a channel, sending messages. This would be my view.
And Arzan, where do you see the future of WhatsApp WhatsApp for Business going from where it is?
If you look at the way our country has evolved digitally over the last, say, couple of decades, from, let's say, 2000 onwards, till about 2010, when the internet opened up in terms of being able to transact online. People were able to do net banking, online purchases, commerce started flourishing through websites. From 2010 onwards, when Android and iOS became completely prevalent among users, people started downloading apps. So there was a flurry of apps. People started using apps to, again, do transactions. It changed the way they really, lived their lives. Clearly now, 2020 onwards, we have seen that even through these two journeys, the number of customers that brands could actually reach out to was still not more than 50, 100. At best, the biggest of brands, like an Amazon, would go to 150 or 200 million people. You are still not even 50% penetrated to the kind of population who has the money power to go and transact, not knowing how to do it. So I would say very clearly, WhatsApp has emerged as the third platform. And there's so much demand, it's just a question of how do we figure the right way to channelize that? How do we make it intuitive, frictionless, to build a conversational journey which will take customer experience to the next level? So that's what it is.
Communication commerce from retail perspective was the next important topic, where the founder of KT Professional, Dhruv Sayani, in conversation with Milind Phatak from Root Mobile, spoke about his company and shared some insight about the company.
My company, KT Professional, we're in the beauty business where we supply products to salons. So we typically do, treatments for salon use, cystines, Botox, keratin services, and protein services for salon use. We're present in 27,000 salons across 86 cities in 27 states of India. And we're probably India's only protein-focused company that is selling hair solutions and largely hair tech solutions under the single important protein in your hair, that's keratin. So we're a 100 SKU company in that domain.
Fantastic. So how do you communicate with your consumers?
Physically is something that we did first for the first 2 years by actually having a sales team out there, visiting salons, educating, and now, of course, reaching out to them through telecalling, reaching out to them through our own platform, which is our website, ktprofessional.com, and interactive WhatsApp communication by providing them constant video engagement to educate them about everything that we do, service and home care.
Up next are some special addresses by industry stalwarts like Krishna Raghavan from Flipkart. Jayant Jain from Reliance Retail addressed the gathering. Here are some high points from the sessions.
The digital transformation that we are seeing in front of us has pretty much disrupted every domain, every vertical that you could think about. This has led to a lot of new competencies that have actually been required for employees to build. New competencies and traits, I would say. How do you build resilience into an employee, into an organization for that matter? How do you build a growth mindset? And to meet this demand, it is vital for us, I think, to build a cross-functional mindset.
What do we do in the future? Let's go back and relearn the lessons that we had at the beginning of why we introduced the reward points. Make your customer feel loyal. That's the key to all such things. You can't make everybody feel loyal, and therefore we have segmentations and whatever. We have a huge amount of back-end capabilities for analytics. So we know what different customers want. So in each segment, identify things that may cost you a little bit more than your whatever percent that you're ready to spend. But it will build that affinity once again. It will make your customer sticky again.
The ET Retail and E-Commerce Innovation Summit was concluded with a closing note address by Pradeep Kumar Jain from KPMG India, and he spoke on keeping up with the consumers, what will stay and what's going to change.
So one thing which I could see since morning is that offline brick and mortar stores, they are going to stay. Though I believe that it's going to change a little bit in the sense that offline stores are going to be more digital. And I do believe that stores are going to be paperless. And even the digital checklist, if I talk about shelf edge labels, they are also going to move digital. So offline stores are going to remain. However, the structure and the way in which they operate, that may change because they are going to go more digital. Second, from the perspective of the customers, in the customer connect side, human touch is essential, and that's going to remain in future also. The next thing which probably is going to come is, and which is already there, is the chatbots, conversational chatbots. So that's going to come. However, after a point, again, the human touch will be needed because conversational chatbots can solve the problem to an extent. After that, to solve the problems for a customer, again, the human touch will be needed.